Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to each and every one of you. Welcome to our Final Expense Monthly Monday. Today is April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2019. My name is Matt Alina, and I'm the Final Expense Manager here at URL Insurance Group. And I want to give a special warm welcome to a lot of new names and faces that are on our call today. Welcome to URL Insurance Group. Thank you for checking us out. And I hope that what you've learned today is stuff that you can utilize for your business, and that we can do a partnership and set up a partnership that we can help you grow your final expense sales and all that you do. For the first Monday of every month, we try to get together with our final expense producers, both new and seasoned sales producers, and we try to discuss things that pertain to the final expense marketplace. We do get a lot of new names and new faces on our calls each and every month. So I do want to go over a quick introduction to our final expense sales program here at URL. I also want to discuss our lead program and our lead subsidy and how to get started. We do have a new carrier that you might want to become aware of. I also like to do some research to see what kind of sales tips we can implement into our daily lives to help us become better salespeople, better marketers, and at the end of the day, help us make more money while we're taking care of our clients. We'll also be discussing some new bonuses, agent bonuses, and some sales incentives that are out there. And then we'll open it up for any questions, comments, concerns that you might have pertaining to final expense sales. So we have an open forum. So kind of like to learn from each other and get an idea of what you're doing. So here at URL Insurance Group, we like to say for final expense sales, we have the playbook for success. Basically, I'm here to help coach you and help guide you and point you in the right direction to help you make a decent living and get a consistent income flow, steady flow for your final expense sales. When you partner with URL Insurance Group for your final expense business, we give you access to numerous sales materials, whether it's sales scripts, different guides. We have an online quoting engine that you can utilize, that you can get the rates for all of our final expense carriers right at your fingertips. We have a proven turnkey marketing program for those of you that may be involved in other areas, whether it's P&C or Medicare. We do webinars and seminars and one-on-one training. We also have consumer-approved materials like brochures, memorial books. We have turnkey and some nice thank you letters and things to try to help get you more referrals. We have all those different materials to help you grow and really become proficient in final expense sales. We have numerous leads resources that you can utilize when you partner with URL. And we also subsidize your lead costs based on your production. So we're going to play a little Where's Waldo. And if you look at our final expense carrier list, it has grown by one. So if you recognize that name that was not there last month, you know, good for you. We'll get into the new carriers here in just a couple of seconds, but we do have a large list of carriers, and we're always looking for additional carriers and trying to kind of scour the marketplace to see who's going to have the best rates for you, who's going to give you the best compensation, and so on. So we have some final expense carriers that we're trying to we're considering adding on, so stay tuned for that. But here's a list of our final expense carriers. We have guaranteed issue plans all the way to competitively priced level benefit plans as well. I had mentioned that we have a final expense quote engine. You can find our quote engine on our website at urlinsgroup.com. And then when you go to when you go to our page and you click on Life Markets, you can go to Life Markets Quoting Tools, and you'll see that there's a final expense quote engine. Click on this link right here, and it'll take you to this screen where you would put the state that you're in, the client's date of birth, male or female, tobacco use or non-tobacco use, and the amount of coverage that you're looking to get. Now, this is not a quote engine where you're going to necessarily want to share the results with your client, because here's just an example. So you run this quote here for $10,000, and you get the rates here. You may not be licensed with these first two carriers, but maybe you're licensed with Mutual of Omaha. So this is really more or less just a way for you to get some rates so that you can kind of give the client some idea on what it is, and it does the calculations for you. So you put in the client's information. You can do level, graded, modified payments, or guaranteed issue. You don't have to do anything with the access key, and then click on Get Quotes Now, and our quote engine will do the shopping for you. So we talked about our quote engine. Let's talk about our lead program. We have different lead vendors that we work with here at URL Insurance Group. And all of these leads that we're going to discuss, they're all exclusive. So none of these leads are going to you and a bunch of other agents that have partnered with URL. Basically, we would get you in contact with the lead vendor to order the leads, to target the areas that you want to target, and they'll send the results directly to you. They're not going to me and a bunch of other agents. So we have lead choices like direct mail. You could do a 1,000-piece mail drop for about $450 to $500. Or you could do a guaranteed response where you say, okay, I want 20 leads, lead mailers. So you're guaranteed to get 20 leads. Those cost anywhere from $32 to $35 a piece. You have a defined sales territory. You can do an entire state. You could do counties. You can even narrow it down to certain zip codes. And you can talk to the lead vendor prior to spending any money to see what areas are going to give you the best results. We also have verified teleleads. Those verified teleleads are $25 a piece. Again, you have a defined sales territory. This company requires about 3 or 4 counties, depending on your area. These leads are never resold. They're $25 a piece. It's a 10 lead minimum order. So you're guaranteed to get 10 leads for $250. We have social media leads, Facebook leads. They're about $30 a piece, 20 lead minimum order. And we also have basic teleleads. The basic teleleads, again, you have your own defined sales territory. Those are about $13 to $15 a piece. And you can order them in groups of about 10, 20, 30, whatever it is that you want. The difference between the verified teleleads and the basic teleleads, the verified teleleads goes through an extra couple steps to verify that the person is indeed interested in speaking to you about life insurance, and they're US-based callers, so they're based out of the United States. They're not using overseas telemarketers. The basic teleleads, where they're $13 to $15 a piece, give or take. If you order in larger quantities, the price does go down. But they're overseas callers, and sometimes there's that language barrier. So sometimes you do get what you pay for. But with all the leads that you're doing, and you can also utilize lead vendors that you have, we don't want to upset the apple cart. So if it's working for you, continue to do it. Ride the wave. We'll still subsidize your lead costs based on your production. So here at URL, we have our standard partners and we have our Gemini partners. Gemini partners, for those of you that aren't familiar with our Gemini program, our Gemini program basically is a program where agents that partner with us consolidate all of their business. If it's a carrier that we have here, you move that contract to us. We will match and or exceed your current commission levels. And we also give back in other ways with special training, trips. We also give back in lead subsidies. So for every $1,000 of final expense annualized paid premium that you place each month, we will give you $80 to apply towards your lead order. For our general standard partners, we still appreciate your business. We still want to help you out. So we give you $50 to apply towards a lead order for every $1,000 of paid annualized final expense premium that you place. So let me just give you an example here. You see it on your screen. It's if you place $5,000 this month, Gemini agents get $400 to apply towards a lead order, where standard agents get $250. Now these are based on GA level contracts, street level contracts, and we do have the right to adjust some of these subsidies as needed, depending on carriers that you may be writing, like guaranteed issue and so on. So we do give back based on your production. This now leads us to our next section, which is our new carrier announcement. We have a new carrier, and some of you may have received an email. Some of you may not have checked your emails in a couple of days. That's fine too. our newest carrier that we've just added to our portfolio is Western Catholic Union. Western Catholic Union has some extremely competitive rates. They're a fraternal benefit society. Now, one of the things that I get asked all the time is, do I need to be Catholic or does my client need to be Catholic? The answer is no. You do not need to be Catholic to get contracted with Western Catholic Union. Your clients do not need to be Catholic in order to get a policy through Western Catholic Union. So they have extremely competitive rates. Their issue ages are 50 to 80. They have a level graded and a return of premium benefit. Minimum death benefit, $5,000 goes up to $35,000. Now, it's limited in the states that they have right now. If they expand it, which we would certainly love that, but in the states that we're in, we're a national brokerage, but they're available in Colorado, Maryland, Missouri, Pennsylvania, Texas, West Virginia, and Wisconsin, and throw in Illinois as well because they're based out of Illinois. So for those of you that are on the call, we have a lot of people from Pennsylvania, Maryland. It's available in those states, and it offers member benefits. Because they're a fraternal benefit society, they have to legally offer member benefits. They have to give back to their policyholders. One of the things that they give discounts for, like prescription drugs and things like that. But they also, for those of you that have clients that have children, either in or grandchildren in Catholic grade schools or Catholic high schools, Western Catholic Union gives grants and scholarships to those to select students who are members of the Western Catholic Union Society. So parents and grandparents that have children in either high schools or grade schools, their children or grandchildren can qualify and apply for college or for scholarships and grants to help offset some of the tuition costs that are there. They also offer that to Catholic colleges as well, and they have a bunch of other scholarships and grants that extend beyond that too. So just a few things that they offer with Western Catholic Union. Again, competitive rates. Now with competitive rates, there's some give and take. So their underwriting is a little bit more restrictive than some of our other carriers, but we can certainly work with you on that if you have questions regarding that. And as I mentioned, we have some other companies that we're in contact with and in talks, and hopefully we'll be adding those carriers to our portfolio here in the not too distant future, so stay tuned. Moving on, I like to do some research from time to time and look up some different sales tips. And one of the sales guys that I really like to learn from and get some nice anecdotal things and just get some knowledge is from Dale Carnegie. And a lot of you probably have heard of this name, Dale Carnegie. Not only has Dale Carnegie put together some really interesting books on sales and how to sell, but some of his students have done that as well. And it's really kind of interesting reading. But here are the 9 sales tips from Dale Carnegie, and I wanted to share them with you. When you're talking to somebody, make sure you smile. With final expense sales, it's usually a one-appointment close. So if you're talking to somebody, make sure that when you're setting up an appointment on the phone that you're smiling. A person can hear you smile on the phone. And when you see them and when you go to their door, they come into your office, make sure you're smiling. And also listen. Be eager to listen to what they have to say. And also arouse an eager want. And what does that mean? Basically, it means you want them to want what you have to say. So kind of like an example. So let's say, and he uses this example in one of his books. And basically, let's say you own a bait shop. Obviously, you're selling night crawlers and minnows and stuff like that. So you want them to understand that you're not basically selling night crawlers, worms, but that you're there to help. You want them to help them. You're there to help them to catch fish, big fish. So arouse that eager want. use names. If you know their first names, use their first names. If you only know their last names, use Mr. or Mrs. in their last name. Avoid arguments. Now, obviously, when you're on a sales call and stuff like that, someone may say, well, this company, maybe it's Colonial Penn or Globe Life or whoever it is. Well, they offer this better product or the prices are better. Let them have their say. Don't offer an argument. You will have an opportunity to brag about what you have to offer and what you'll be able to do for them. We're all human, so if we make a mistake, whether it's giving the wrong quotes or whatever, be sure to be quick to apologize. In any sales transaction or pitch, you discover that you made an error. Don't make excuses. A lot of times you're building trust, and when you're able to, and you're willing to admit a mistake, you're building the trust, and you build that relationship with the client as well. Number 7, let the customers sell to themselves. People do not like to be told what to do or what to buy. So provide them information, teach them, and be helpful. Number 8, ask what's in it for the customers. When you are discussing the product that you're selling, when you're discussing your final expense plan, put it into terms that speak to your customers' interests, which goes back to listening. Listen to what interests them. A lot of times by listening, you'll hear what it'll take to close them. Unless the customer, your client, doesn't see the benefits, you're not going to make the sale. So make sure you find what's in it for your customers. And number 9, this one's difficult, but dramatize your ideas. So Dale Carnegie uses this example of when he was on a sales appointment and he was selling cash registers. So he was in a grocery store telling the grocery store owner that his current cash registers are making him lose money. And with that, he pulls coins out of his pocket and throws that on the floor. He eventually got the sale, but basically dramatized his ideas. It kind of puts it into perspective a little bit. So those are some of the sales tips from Dale Carnegie. I obviously don't do it justice all the time when I'm telling you all of these things, but check out some of these things and some of these sales tips from Dale Carnegie. You can find them online a lot of times. Check out his books as well. I do like reading some of his stuff. It's very easy to read. And Dale Carnegie was born in 1888. He died in 1955. And the stuff that took place in the turn of the century is still stuff that can carry over even here in 2019. So take a look at some of the stuff that he has to say. Maybe try to implement some of those tips as well. So now let's talk about bonuses. What's in it for you? So for those of you who are brand new to URL, we have what we call our Fresh Start bonus. So if you're new to selling final expense with us, or maybe you've never, maybe you've done business with URL, but maybe not final expense, we're going to give you and kick in an extra $25 per placed final expense application during your first 60 days of getting contracted with some final expense carriers. So you have to either be new to URL or you haven't submitted business with URL in the past 2 years. The business has to be placed within the first 60 days. The minimum qualifying premium is $500. And we'll kick this in addition to the lead subsidies that we talked about earlier. So earn an additional $25 per final expense application during your first 60 days, and you still can qualify for lead subsidies. Now, for those of you who have partnered with URL, you've been working with us for a while, we didn't forget about you. We did a final expense bonus blitz. We'll be calculating those numbers here very soon. But here, going into the second quarter of the year, this is our final expense grand slam bonus. So for 4 placed final expense cases, we're going to give you $100. 8 placed final expense cases, $200. 10 is going to get you $250. 20, $500. Again, the minimum annualized premium is $500. This run starts today and runs to the end of June. It's based on street level contracts. And again, you can still qualify for our lead subsidies. In addition to the bonuses, there are incentive trips. For those of you who are not familiar with final expense sales, a lot of final expense carriers offer some really great trips in addition to some top commissions. So here's a list of the incentive trips for those of you who are interested in trips and driven by trips. Foresters, Liberty Bankers, Mutual of Omaha, Occidental Life, Royal Neighbors, Family Benefit Life, and Transamerica all have trips that they've announced and the production that it takes in order to be qualified for that. Western Catholic Union that we talked about just a couple of slides ago. This is not a typo, folks. $40,000 in annualized premium gets you and a guest to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic in 2020. That's Western Catholic Union. Even if you do this on a more or less a part-time basis, but you're consistent, you will be able to reach this trip. $40,000 annualized premium gets you and a guest to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic in 2020 with Western Catholic Union. Now, when you qualify for these trips, you also are, all of the business that you do with URL earns points for some other things. URL Insurance Group is bringing back our President's Club trip in 2020. Basically, if you do about 50 to 60,000 or more in production sales with URL, I'm using life insurance numbers just to kind of give you an idea of a ballpark figure. That's going to get you and a guest to the Hotel Bennett in Charleston, South Carolina, and that will be taking place next spring, 2020. If you've never been to Charleston, it's an outstanding town with great restaurants, great shopping, a lot to do, great weather, nice people. So hopefully when you're working hard, you play hard, and you can pack your bags at the same time. Something for you to consider, in addition to what I talked about with Dale Carnegie and the 9 sales tips, life insurance is something that is you do have to do a little bit of selling. However, you're not necessarily selling as much as you are teaching. And Ben Feldman here is quoted as saying, don't sell life insurance, sell what life insurance can do. Don't sell life insurance, teach the client about life insurance and teach them about what a life insurance policy can do, not only for them, but also for their family. As we come towards the end of our presentation today, we do like to do an open forum. This is where we want to hear from you. So if you have any challenges or you have some successes and you want to share that with us, feel free to type that or raise your hand, and I will be happy to share that with everybody else on the call. If you're participating in our lead program, how are the leads working out for you? I want to know about these things. And if you're on the fence about giving final expense sales a try, what can we do to help you give it a try? Dip your toe in the water a little bit. What can we do to help you out with that? These are things that I'd like to hear from you and learn from you as well. And we also have some poll questions. So for those of you who have access to your computer screen, I do have some poll questions. This allows me to kind of help you and learn a little bit more about you. So there's a lot of new faces on the call today. So here's the first question. What is your primary insurance market? Is it final expense? Is it traditional life insurance, like term, universal life, traditional whole life? Is it annuities or is it Medicare? What is your primary insurance market? What do you sell most of? The final expense, traditional life, annuities, or Medicare? Give you a few more seconds here to vote. About 10 more seconds. Okay, thank you for answering, for those of you that answered. So let me give you the results. So we have quite a few people on the call today. 25% of you on the call said that final expense is your primary market. 33% of you said that traditional life insurance is your primary market. 8% said annuities. 33% said Medicare. Great Great results there, interesting results as well. So annuities is at the bottom, and final expense is second from the bottom. So interesting. So here's my next question. What tools do you need to grow your sales, your final expense sales? Do you need cross-selling ideas and techniques? Do you need leads? Do you need better carriers? What tools can we provide you to help you grow your final expense sales? Do you need cross-selling ideas and techniques? Do you need sales leads? Or do you need better carriers? And again, these poll questions, as you're answering, these poll questions are designed to help me help you so that I kind of know what it is that you're looking for so that we can work together and help you grow. All right, thank you everybody for answering that. So 43% of you that answered said that you need cross-selling ideas and techniques. Another 43% of you said leads, and 14% of you said better carriers. And here's my last question. What is your approach to final expense sales? Do you order leads? Do you do your own mailers, do cold calling and your own marketing? Do you wait for somebody to approach you, or do you try to avoid it at all costs and just refer it to somebody else? So do you order your own leads, or do you order leads? Do you do your own mailers, cold calling, or marketing? Or do you wait for somebody to approach you? Or do you just try to avoid it and refer it to somebody else? Give you a few more seconds here. All right, thank you very much for answering that. So 38% of you say you order leads, and I will agree that ordering leads is probably the lifeblood. If final expense sales is where your main focus is, you're going to want to order leads. 31% of you say you do your own mailers, cold calling, and marketing. 23% of you said you wait for somebody to approach you. And then 8% of you say you try to avoid it and refer it to somebody else. Regardless of what it is that you do and how you do this, and I really do want to encourage each and every one of you to give final expense sales a try. Final expense is like riding a bicycle. You probably heard it. It's very cliche, I know. But once you kind of figure out and get on a roll, it really it starts to flow. It's a great way to earn some income and a great way to earn and to get clients. So if you're looking for a quick cash flow in a lucrative marketplace, we're in a marketplace that's always seems to be growing each and every day, each and every month or year, final expense sales is the way to go. If you're selling Medicare, those Medicare clients that you have could also be final expense clients, and get referrals. The opportunities are definitely there. But again, this is an open forum, and you don't necessarily have to do it today or this week, but we do want to hear from you. What are some of the challenges and successes that you're seeing out there if you're doing final expense sales? Or how are the leads working out for you? And if you're on the fence about giving final expense sales a try, what can I do to help you give it a try? Those are some things that I'd like to learn from you. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything that I can do to help, feel free to contact me. My direct line goes right past our switchboard, goes right into my phone. It's 717-216-8041. My toll-free number is 800-926-8875, extension 141. So I appreciate your time today. Let me see if we have any questions on that. And let's see. Here are the questions. Billy Jordan. Billy, you asked, what are the street level contracts? It depends on the carrier. It's a great question. It's a question that I get asked every day because what's in it for me, right? So and rightfully so. So street level contracts, this is for level benefit plans. Most of the carriers start on the low end at 100%. But on average, you're looking at about 110, 115. Just depends on the carrier, depends on the product that you're selling. It also depends on the age of the client. So that's generally where we kind of start our contracts, give or take. It just depends on the carrier. And like I said, on average, about 100%. Kirk, AIG guarantee issue application on the website. Where is it? Kirk, I will give you a call on that here after the call. When you log in, I'll be able to help you with that. And Billy asked, can any of these programs be sold over the phone? Yes, we have a lot of carriers that are going towards phone applications. Some of the core group there. And again, it depends on the state that you're in because it has to go through a state approval process. But some of the core companies that allow you to sell over the phone are companies like Mutual of Omaha, Western Catholic Union has it, Royal Neighbors has it, AIG and Gerber can be sold over the phone. Trying to think of other ones. Liberty Bankers is another carrier that can be sold over the phone. If carriers don't have an over-the-phone sales application, then it's probably one of those where they either they're a very small company or they just or they're working on that, on the ability to do that, because that's kind of the trend at this point is e-apps and over-the-phone sales. Joel asked, that's a great question. What is the average premium for final expense? The average annualized premium is between $600 and $700 a year, give or take. Most people are spending between $50 and $60 a month. So that's the average premium for final expense. Great questions. If there's any other questions, feel free to type those questions. I will be happy to read those aloud again. If you do have any questions or would like to talk to me individually, again, my contact information, 800-926-8875, extension 141. My direct line is 717-216-8041. One other question that came in, if appointed with a carrier for life, can be appointed with you for final expense. For a lot of carriers, yes. If you're contracted in life insurance for one product, I'll use Transamerica as an example. If you're contracted to sell Transamerica for their term, you also have access to their final expense portfolio as well. Same goes for some of the other policies, some of the other carriers out there that do other things. Now, Medicare and life insurance, two separate contracts. It's two separate things altogether. So that's a different story. But a lot of times the carriers that do traditional life also will allow you to do final expenses as well. Another great question, Billy, I like your questions. What is your release policy? We do not hold you hostage. If we're not living up to your expectations, we will be glad to give you a release. Now, with that being said, you cannot have any debit balances or vectors out there. If you have the debit balances or vectors, then we can't release you at that point until that's been paid off. Also, your commissions are vested day one. So your commissions, your clients follow you. They're not property of URL. So I hope that answers those questions. Again, if you have any questions or comments, I'm here all week this week. My toll-free number, 800-926-8875, extension 141. My direct line is 717-216-8041. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. I look forward to having a conversation with each of you to help you learn more about final expense sales and to help you give it a try if you're not already doing it. If you're already doing it, I'd certainly like the opportunity to show you what we can do and show you what we can do to help you grow and do business together. Thanks very much. Have a great week, everybody, and we will talk to you all very soon. Take care.